Oh, what a good ending. Oh, I love this. I love how much they're... Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to our video village. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a video from Amon Amarth, who I haven't really covered on the channel before, but I've seen them live. I'm going to be taking a look at Saxons and Vikings today. I haven't seen this video from them before, but I'm kind of expecting the same sort of really deep storytelling that we see in their music as well as like their live performances. The live show that I saw was at Gaspop in Belgium. Feels like 2 years ago, but it was 2023. It was insane. So I have high hopes for this video, and I'm really excited to go take a look. In case you're new here, my name is Manon. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a writer-director at this point, and I have shot short films. I've been working on bringing my first feature film to life, which is a psychological horror. I have worked on the set of the bonus content for Krasts, the currently #1 TV show on Amazon in the US and I think in many parts in the world, which has been really cool. I've been working in the industry for like 10 years in a variety of roles, and I absolutely just love film in all its shapes, and I love music videos specifically. I'm a huge metalhead, and I've always thought that music videos for metal are particularly creative. So they've always really inspired me, actually, in a lot of ways. So with all of that out of the way, let's just take a look at the music video. Wow, what a beautiful opening. Really nice, really atmospheric. Very cool. Love this opening title card, and apparently this is featuring Saxons, so wonder when they'll show up. Absolutely love these opening shots. I love the reveal of the Amon Amarth singer from behind the tree. I wonder where this was shot. It's really looking very beautiful. Also, I had really noticed how much they are running their smoke machine to really amp up the atmosphere and kind of optimize the amount of like cool lighting you get from the sun and the rays through the trees. So that's really, really nice. You can see it here too. It's like there's so much smoke, but it really works for the theme as well because we're going for war. So really noticing also how many low angle shots there are. So it looks like the camera is sitting quite lowly on the operator. And so most, if not all of these shots are like shot from this low angle to make them also look more imposing. Usually that's why they make that choice to do that. On top of that, as they're walking, you can really tell that this was shot probably with a Steadycam or like a gimbal Ronin type stabilizer, where we're really walking and like there's barely, you don't feel any of the footsteps. Although some of that is also accounted for by the incredible slow motion that we're seeing. So a lot of this is in slow motion, especially also as he's singing. So something that's interesting about that is that they usually have to play the music at 2 speed to make sure that the mouth movements are still at the same speed when you slow the footage down. So you can imagine that they were shooting this and the music was actually playing twice as fast. I always think it's a sort of a funny image to think about them performing the music twice as fast as they're, going through this whole performance. So really loving all these costumes, by the way. I wonder if they worked with LARPers here, because the costumes really look great. I do really like the color grading. I love this sort of juxtaposition between the blues and the more green warm tone that we have in the foreground here. Very nice. Beautiful shots. Again, like here, you can really see how the smoke is used to great effect. Also, the skies are so blue. Where was this shot? Like, I don't know where in Europe the skies would be so blue. Definitely not England, that's for sure. Also, I really love this shot. The focus on his finger here is really good. Also, I think they must have only used natural lighting here, as in the sun, because their faces and here everything is pretty dark, and I don't see any other external lighting sources. So it's really a cool look. It's a little bit easier, but it's also, it can give things a little bit more of a realistic look, although sometimes it also means that sometimes your subjects are a little bit too dark. So let's see how this progresses.
We Saxons stand in Alfred's name. We made you bleed our land regain. Our battle cry is England free and warm. You have taken Saxon blood. You pay the price in pain. We raise our flags with pride and steel. This is the end of Danelaw. We'll send you back from whence you came. You'll never conquer Wessex land. Make up bets, we're not afraid. You taste our English steel. Another day, another fight. We're here to win it all. But there is no truce in sight. Twin Saxons and Vikings, we carry on, we will not yield. God is on our side. There is no hope for peace. Twin Saxons and Vikings. We'll have your hand.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, I got a couple things to say. So it's really beautiful how then we are introduced with this transition on this beautiful forest to our friend on the beach here, who's the singer for Saxon. So the English side is introduced, the English side of the battle. And we're at a very different time of day here. All of this was shot much later during the day than the first part. So that's interesting. They probably only had one day to shoot this entire thing. And then that's a realistic thing that you have to deal with, is that your sun is disappearing. So I can imagine they had to rush quite a bit to get this shot before it was dark. It's really hard when, you have to, if you only have one day to shoot, it can be really, really hard, because sometimes the schedules of these bands are so tight, especially with these collaborations, that you may only have one day to shoot. And so it's just a realistic issue that you have to deal with, is that at some point you're losing your light, especially since they weren't really using any extra lights, because again, he is pretty dark. And it's a beautiful shot though. Like, I love this with the sunset. It's just really, really beautiful. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think the sun, it's about set, it's right around that time. It's dusk. It's beautiful. And then they start walking into the woods, presumably towards the Vikings to fight them. And there's just really beautiful shots. Also, I noticed that they're playing this at normal speed as he's singing, so we don't see the slowdown bit there. Yeah, it's some beautiful shots, really, really very warm toned here. And I love that. Again, it is quite a visual contrast also with what we're seeing from the other guys before. So it's a nice contrast, and it's a nice introduction to their crowd, their team, their war band, if you will. So then they finally catch up to the Vikings. They're here and ready to fight. Then we have this great shot where they finally meet up in the middle. Like, again, it's like a different time of day, so you can again see it's like they cut back and forth between these times of day, but it's not really an issue, right? Okay, and then he lifts this really creepy head and they start doing this back and forth, I think. So let's keep watching.
Pagan scum, will smash thy skull.
Nobles will tear your flag.
Your skin will soon be flesh.
You sons of whores,
Satan's spawn,
come get some more.
you spineless dogs.
The
Okay, that seems like another good moment to pause it. Another transition. Okay, so really like the back and forth. It almost feels like a rap battle. Love this back and forth. So we have these medium shots that are really shot like from the front, and instead of all of these low angles, we're sitting a little bit more at like eye level now, which is really cool. I love that it's almost like an equal sort of back and forth between him and the Vikings, and we're seeing the back and forth. Let me see. Yeah, so like this. And you can also really tell that they did something in the color grading to make the two sides stick out a little bit more. So you can see that the Vikings are a little bit more green-yellow toned, whereas the English on this side are a little bit more blue toned, a little bit more cool toned. So I love that difference here. Love that. I think it's also the mist that's contributing to it a little bit. But it works, you know, especially here you can see like a big difference. But it might just be the smoke, that they just had a little bit more smoke running here. Either way, really like it. Another contrast I notice is here, he seems to be better lit than the Viking side. And that could just be because of how he was positioned, but it definitely feels like the Vikings here are, you know, the sun was maybe shining a little less brightly, or they had more diffusion going. It's like even though you don't have a light, you can still use bounces, for example, which are these white screens that you can still bounce the light with. Or they may have had diffusion filters, which is where they have this white translucent sort of fabric that can shield some of the direct sun. So it's possible that here our English guy was actually a little bit more in the sun, and they had some diffusion to kind of make it not quite as strong. But you can definitely tell that he was a little bit better lit. And I love the shot before the transition. It's very intimidating, very cool. Love the sort of symmetry of this, and I love the guys are like, in each of these shots, they're like, ooh, you know, they're ready to fight. And it looks like that's what we're getting in the final part. So let's go. Ooh, yeah.
Blood will soak this battlefield. Who will live and who will die? There is no hope. Another day, another fight. The battle rages on. There is no truce inside. Between Saxons and Vikings. At Edington the battle stands. There will be turning all. Who will rule this English land? Saxons and Vikings. Saxons and Vikings.
Oh, ooh. What a good ending. Oh, I love this. I love how much they sung this as if it's chapters. Really, really, really cool. You can clearly tell that it had like a 3-act structure, sort of the song, but also the way that they shot the video. So it really works. Absolutely love this final part. Wow, so impressed by the stunt people or LARPers. I'm guessing they're LARPers, not professional stunt people, but I might be wrong, so please tell me. Would love to know who were the performers here. There was some really cool camera action here. So as the battle sort of intensified, we got a lot more frantic camera movement. So we were really following the action and just the movement from these guys. And they were really, really fighting hard. And you could, the camera movement really added to that too. And there were 2 moments here that to me really stood out, where the camera was actually like they were throwing someone and the camera sort of moved with it, and it looked like a really complex movement, and I really wanted to just point it out because it's really cool looking, and you can see it here. Boom. Very, very, very cool. That must have been, they must have taken a little bit to really get that right, to really make sure that the camera and the guy were spinning at the same time. Very cool. Very cool. And they do that twice too. So it's just a very, very cool effect. And just in general, it's like, it's pretty brutal what's happening here. Like a lot of it is kind of obscured by the darkness, and we're definitely well past dusk at this point. Like it's pretty dark, and it works for the fight. And the lighting here is pretty dark. Barely have any lighting left. We still have a little bit of the blue sky, but you can tell like these guys, you can barely even see their faces anymore. It's so dark. And they must have really pumped up the ISO on their cameras to compensate for that darkness. And you can see a little bit of the grain here, for example. You can see it pretty well. And I love that moment when the singers are walking through the fray as well. It's just really well done. Beautiful colors. Really love the look of the smoke, especially here, and how much it makes it so atmospheric. So I love that. And then we have this final shot, which probably was my favorite shot of all of it. Look at that. So beautiful and so grim and really brutal. Because you know what he's doing is basically like crashing that shield down on your face and bludgeoning, and it's terrible. But in terms of the shot, we have these beautiful lines here, and then just this black outline from this guy and the shield. It's really nice and a good transition to the fade to black. So really cool. Really cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Had a really good time deconstructing this one, and I'm curious to hear if anyone knows where it was shot, or anything about how it was shot. Please let me know in the comments below. Also, in the meantime, subscribe if you haven't yet and want to follow along for more. I also have a Patreon that you can support. You get early access to my videos, as well as exclusive access to my work that I can't share with the public yet. I also share some of my writing on there that's exclusive to my patrons. So check it out. You can also join us on the Discord server, which is free for anyone to join. It's a good time there. We have a really fun little crew where we talk about movies, games, TV shows, like all of our favorite things, music and music videos, of course. So you're warmly invited to come hang out with us there. And in the meantime, I hope you'll join me for the next one. Peace.